Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan.
Drip. Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Now, that's my thoughts on Baldur's Gate 3. We have an update in Street Fighter 6. It's not a good one. So last night, after arduously playing with Dalsim for a month, remember, I didn't play Street Fighter 6 for most of October. I brought it back around mid-November, and I started playing with Dalsim, okay? I played, I think, like 8 hours of casual play with Dalsim. Then we took him to ranked, and I jumped through ranked at a turbo pace, okay? I got to master level last night after one set. I played a Master Blanca, whooped his butt, and got right to master. And sadly, here's what happened, and this is really sad, and I mean that. Like, I'm not angry. I'm actually upset and sad about this situation. The moment I started playing people in master, the game changed. Every connection that I had last night was laggy, without exception. Every single match had moments where you're in the middle of gameplay and the game went boo and started running slow and had frame drops and had big issues with input drops and execution because the game's connection was bad. This happened every single match for 2.5 hours. Now, the problem with that is that when you're playing with Dalsim, he is a character that relies solely on keeping enemies away at a certain range where he can control the match. If the game lags and you can't keep that pattern running, then you are screwed. Because the moment someone gets in on you and starts rushing you down or getting you into a pattern where they can mix you up, you have to guess to get out. The game is so laggy at this master level. I could not react to what they were doing. A Cammy walking up and trying to throw me, and every time they throw, I go to throw break. Doesn't work, comes out late. Every time, I can't throw break. The only time I can throw break is predicting what she's going to do and mashing the buttons like a madman. Then sometimes I would actually break the throw early, right? Same thing with drive impacts. They were doing their drive impacts, and every time that I saw it come out, my drive impact, no, I get hit, mine didn't come out. Huh? Before I hit master, it was working. Watch all my gameplay crawling through casual and then diamond. I'm counter drive impacting people constantly. Constantly. But I can't do it in master. I can't throw break in master. Why? What happened? And I guess what people are saying is that basically what has happened with Street Fighter 6 is sad because the way the game works, okay? You can endlessly grind and suck in this game and still become master rank. The way that they made it is that you gain more points than you lose. So you could pick a shitty character like Ken or whatever, you know, an overpowered shitty character, and you could just mash your way through the patterns and get to master. And then when you get there, you're there forever. I mean, you'll lose all your points, losing endlessly, but you're still there forever. So what's happened is all the assholes who suck at this game played it enough now, because now it's been out for, what, over 5 months, and they've all reached master. So now, when you get to master, you literally go from better connections to worse, and you have to fight a player pool of laggy idiots who suck at the game, but get away with bad gameplay because their connections suck. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, I try, you know, I'm selective. I'm only going to pick people with wired connections. It happens anyway. It's not the wireless connections. It's just the connections in general. They suck ass. And there's nothing you can do. Like, I tried adjusting. I tried, you know, nothing worked. Every match was a laggy mess. There were matches, I had the entire match won. Right in the middle of the combo, completely different move would come out. I didn't even press that button. How the frick did I get that move? Now you lose, because now you dropped your combo, now you're open, jam combo to you, now you're locked in the corner, can't escape, lose. This happened, I'm not kidding, about 90% of the matches last night. Now, why is this a problem? Well, that's disheartening. I worked my ass off to get arguably one of the hardest characters to play in the game to master. So it's like you're climbing the mountain. Imagine if you're climbing the mountain, and you get to the top of the mountain, and there's just a bunch of annoying assholes at the top of the mountain, right? There's nothing fun up there. You didn't achieve anything. You actually worked your ass off to climb just to get to a really disappointing, annoying group of people who you hate. That's what's there in Master now. I didn't play a single great person at all. I kept playing all low-ranked, low-point people with terrible connections. That's the experience in Master and Street Fighter 6 now. And it's funny because people were like, well, if this is the case, will you keep playing with Dalsim? Will you pick someone new? And I'm thinking, why bother? Why bother even playing a new character? If I pick a new character, all it's going to happen, it's the same climb. going through the ranks, getting to master, and then it's the same bullshit again. Fighting the same laggy assholes who suck, and you can't fight them because the connections are terrible. Right? Now, the other thing about this is still, if you take a look at master rank, most people are playing on PC. Most of the people are crossplay again. And this is what happened when I played with Blanca and everyone else. We discovered that people who are playing this game at a level where they feel like they're going to compete competitively in some capacity, they all got it on PC, and they're all playing it on PC. Because PC has less input lag, better connections, less dropped inputs. So because of that, they have a distinct advantage over anyone playing on console. That's not fair, but that's how they designed the game. And that's bullshit. You should, just because it's cross-play doesn't mean that someone should have a distinct advantage on you because they're playing on a different platform. Now you might say, well, then why don't you turn off crossplay? Because now you're making the player pool so much smaller, you're actually playing against people with even more lag. So if you thought that was a problem last night, it just extrapolates the problem exponentially and makes it way worse. So there's literally no solution. Once you hit master rank in Street Fighter 6 as of now, you literally are wasting your time. You can't play good players. You play scrubs with laggy connections. It's not fun. And especially using a character. Maybe if I was using Blanca, it would be a better experience because he's a better character. But trying to play with Dalsim, it's nearly impossible. It's like self-torture. I played for 2.5 hours. And every time I had something going, the game would lag. And that was it. That was it. Dropped input, dropped combo, lag spike, can't control my character. They take advantage. Game over. Well, how is that fun? I didn't make your fucking netcode. You know? And it sucks because I would say months ago, it wasn't the same. When we originally had hit Master with Blanca back on Xbox, it was a different experience entirely. Remember, immediately I was playing good players. The connections were good. And I was like, oh, this is neat. This is interesting. Now it seems like Master has just become watered down trash. And it's not fun to play anymore. I don't know if Capcom will eventually address this and do something to fix it, or if they're just going to let it ride the way it is. But right now, it is not fun to play that game. Just being honest. I had way more fun with the climb from casual into ranked through the diamond ranks with Dalsim. The moment I hit master, it was like there's no point to play anymore. There's no fun here at all. I can't control my character. Why am I going to keep playing this, right? And I equated it to this. Back in the day, there was no online play. So if you wanted to get good at a fighting game, you'd either have to go to arcades locally and play with your local competition, your friends and other people who you play against. Or, once these games started having console ports, you go over each other's houses, play on Dreamcast, play on PS2, practice offline. So imagine you played and practiced hardcore for 2 months. You got really good. I'm ready. So now you go to the in-person tournament, because there's no online play and no online tournaments. You go to the in-person tournament. Okay, there's your cabinet. You're up and you go to play. Wait a minute, this cabinet barely works. The joystick doesn't work well. The buttons I'm pressing and they only work half the time. Oh well, just play. So I practiced for 2 months. I traveled out here to be in part of your tournament, and now I have to play on this shitty cabinet. Yes, this is the tournament. Go play. So of course you lose, and then you go home sour, disappointed. Wow, I feel like I just wasted all my time. That used to happen. That happened to me before in real life, and now I'm having that same experience online with Street Fighter 6. That's unacceptable. This is completely unacceptable. Capcom needs to address this and fix it. It can't just be accept that everyone got to master and now all the connections are shit and you're endlessly stuck fighting scrubs and there's no fun to it. No. It needs to be addressed. They need to fix the ranking system and reset it and have a way that it's going to be fun again. Because for someone who actually wants to get good at the game and play at a high level, that's the opposite of fun. You're climbing the mountain to get to the top and then you get punched in the nuts when you get there. Gee, thanks. That's really, I wanted to get Jimmy tapped after climbing Mount Everest. I really appreciate that, right? So you might say, okay, you definitely might say that it's time to retire Street Fighter 6. You might say that. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is time to retire Street Fighter 6. We've played it for 5+ months, correct? I've done a lot. I got 5 characters to master. Wait. 4 characters to master. Blanca, Honda, Lily, Dalsim. And I know now, quite honestly, that if I kept playing with any character, I'd probably get them to master too. If I can get Lily and Dalsim to master, right? I can probably get the better characters to master if I played, right? And I focused in on it. And, you know, I feel like that's it. Like, there's the challenge of the game has been beaten, accomplished. The only way for me to make progress further in this game is to buy a high-end gaming PC, to do the tweaks that I need to do to reduce input lag or whatever, and to make sure that essentially I have the ideal state, and then to try to play online again, and hopefully not have these online issues that I'm having right now. But I don't think I'm that serious. I'm not going to tournaments. I have no plans on becoming a competitive player in this game. I told you all that when I started playing it in June. I feel like I've kind of competitively done everything else that I wanted to do with the game besides play with every character. But again, what's the point of playing with new characters when you just get to master and then you get deflated because the game runs like shit at master, right? So here's the truth. Here's what I think we should do. And I'm curious to get everyone's opinions on this. This Friday, I want to do Friday Night Fights, and I want to try Dalsim one more time at master, all right? And I want to see if I have a different experience. Could it have just been a bad experience one night where the connections were shitty, and now if I play again on Friday night, will it be better? I at least want to give it another shot. I want to at least have a feeling of maybe some positivity that maybe that was the case, and maybe it'll be better. So Friday night, we're going to do Friday Night Fights with Dalsim one more time. We're going to see what happens. If it ends up being laggy, shitty, and basically just annoying as fuck, and I'm not having a good time anymore, I think it's time to retire Street Fighter 6 for now. I'll probably go back to it from time to time to check out the new DLC characters. For example, I'm very interested in how Akuma will play in this game. I really don't give two shits about this Ed character. I don't know who he was in Street Fighter 5. I think it's an idiotic move that they have him as a DLC character. But Akuma, he's a staple. I would absolutely like to play with him again. Okay? So we'll go back to it from time to time. Okay? But unless Capcom fixes this issue, I don't see the point of wasting my time with it anymore. It really is just a... By the way, the sun came out, which is why it looks so bright right now. It really does feel like it's a fruitless endeavor where I'm going to work my ass off just to be punched in the nuts. And I don't like being punched in the nuts. I have enough abuse in my life with other shit. I don't need to be abused because Capcom fucked this up and made their ranked system terrible once you get to Master. Okay? Now, here's the other thing, and this is kind of the silver lining in this cloud, okay? This doesn't mean it's the end of fighting games. There's two awesome things coming up that we can do. Number one, I have a mini PC, and on that mini PC, I can install something called Fightcade. That's something you guys asked me to do for ages, and I kept telling you I can't do it on my current PC. My PC can capture and stream, and that's about it. If I tried to run an application on there, it would make everything lag up. But I have a mini PC now, okay? And that mini PC could run Fightcade. And Fightcade is a retro emulation program that allows you to have online matchmaking and competitive play with fighting games. For example, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Capcom vs. SNK 2, all of the old versus games that I love, like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, all the games that I played back in the day and absolutely loved playing, and there has not been any good viable versions of these games on console for many, many, many years. I've tried playing them all. Capcom 30th Anniversary Collection, Capcom Fighting Collection, they all suck. Okay? This essentially is the best way to play them from what people are saying. So, the thing is, I don't know how to set it up. When I first got the mini PC, I installed the application and I ran it and I was like, how the fuck does this work? It's complicated. There's like, you need to find the ROMs somewhere and then you need to install an add-on or something and then you have to configure it and I don't get it. So, this is going to be something that you guys will have to work with me to figure out how to do it because I don't really understand it. But I feel like this could be something fun that we do, all right, for variety, for several weeks. Like, we could do Friday Night Fights and maybe, like, one other stream a week of retro fighting games. And we could mix it up. It could be one day I do Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. One day I play Super Turbo. One day I play something different, right? It'll keep it interesting. Because of the variety of stuff that'll be available, I'll be able to mix it up and play various games. And I think that would be pretty neat, actually. Something different, right? And so, we could do that. if really Street Fighter 6 is a bust this Friday, we could start doing that as early as later this week. We could try to figure it out. And I work with you guys. If you could help me, if anyone has a suggestion of a guide or something that I could use to set it up easily, I would like to try. Okay? And then, basically, we could do that for like a month. Because then what's coming out in late July, or mid to late January, is Tekken 8. Brand new fighting game. It's totally different from Street Fighter. Okay? Looks great. Plays great. But sadly, I'm not good at it. All right? I don't want to have you guys get all of these crazy expectations that I'm going to be good at Tekken 8. I don't think I will be. You know, I like Tekken. I used to play it in arcades back in the day, but I never was competitive at it in any serious capacity. So perhaps with this one, I'll play it and I'll like it and I'll want to get competitive. Or maybe not. You know, either way. But I'm going to be playing Tekken come January, and then maybe then we can decide for ourselves, is this something that I should pursue further after playing through maybe the story and playing online for various characters for a bit? Or is this something that I play for a few weeks and then that's it? And then we decide, you know, what's the future of fighting games on DSP Gaming? Is it Fightcade? Do I occasionally go back to Street Fighter 6? What do we want to do, right? We can try to figure that out. So we'll talk about that. But I think that's what I want to do. This Friday, the last hurrah for Dalsim Street Fighter 6, see how it goes. If it goes well, maybe we keep it up. If not, probably time to retire it for now and then maybe move on to retro stuff for a month until Tekken comes out. Okay?
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.